Hey guys, welcome back to AdventuresOfWellUmMe, and today I'm jumping back into the Mortal Realms. This video is going to be a little bit different to how I've previously done it, only for one very specific reason, and that is they took forever to send me these next set of magazines. It's been roughly 5 weeks, I think, since I uploaded my last video. And I only just got these in the mail this week, which means that they were about 5 weeks overdue because I was uploading those videos 1 week at a time from when I got that delivery. So it's been 9 weeks since my last shipment, roughly. I'm not sure if that's to do with Australia Post or to do with the actual shipping company, the production company, whatever it is in terms of it getting to me. I'm not overly happy with that. I did contact them and then it finally got shipped out. But the fact that I have been charged, a month in advance, so it arrives 28 days after I've been charged, and it arrived way after that. In fact, I've been charged for the next 2, so I'm hoping those come very soon. Otherwise, I'm going to be sending another email through with a complaint about their service because quite frankly, it's disappointing when you're investing that money for things not to be shipped out on time. All that aside, I want to focus on the actual product itself. This is not going to be one of the focuses on the actual magazine today. What we're going to do is we're actually going to open up all of the magazines because I'm running out of space and I've got a few other things that I want to actually film. So I need to move some things out the way and organize things in amongst packing stuff for, the next couple of months when we start to move. So what I'm actually doing is I'm opening up all 4 issues, having a look at them briefly. In the videos where I actually make the models for the game and go through what the next edition is, I will be going through it in more detail. I just want to clear some space and not have it all just piled up because I've got stuff everywhere at the moment. I was filming for something at my work as well, so I had camera gear out, camera gear in. It was just a mess, but I need to organize, and the way that we're going to organize is by using the binder that came with the delivery. This is one of those things that you do get for subscribing, and part of the reason why I wanted to subscribe was to be able to get all these magazines, break it up into a way that's going to show you how to do things creatively, and then store it. This is how I'm going to be doing that. So hopefully when the rest of these come, they don't decide to take forever. But I've got this binder, which means I can go through the ones that I've already done, because as you would have seen on the channel, we've actually gone through and detailed these guys. They've got they've been covered with the Rifle and Shade, and they've got the Stormhost Silver over them to give them like a more metallic-y, silvery, worn edge to them. So that's what we worked on last time. And all the wraiths we've gone over with the Corax White as a dry brush as well. So they've got this ethereal blue glow with a white overtone on top. But what I'm interested in is looking at the next part of our progression towards 2 armies so we can play an awesome game of Mortal Realms. Hopefully my wife will be interested in this. If not, I've got my sister-in-law who's always interested in these sorts of things, so that'll be fun anyway. I can bring her over for a game tonight and go through that. But we're going to go through these. We had a brief look on the back of the previous pack of 1, and now we're going to have a look in more detail. But I'm just going to open it up. You don't need to see the plastic, so let's get into it. So, in the first magazine, so that we get in this delivery, so it's issue 8, and we're looking at building. It's like a ballista thing. It's Celesta Ballista, and then painting with Cantor Blue. So we get 2 characters plus a ballista that we're going to be building. Oh, okay. So there's the base there. Not a huge one, just like cool base. And then we've got this Cantor blue. So this is the blue that they use as part of their robes. So looking at these previous guys here that we've already built, all these flowy robes will have a white and a blue painted onto them. Let's just have a good look at this. How did it come in? I gave it a little bit of a shake. This one's actually held up really well. It's quite runny as well, which is good. So I'm going to chuck the blue of the back here, because I'm going to get all my paints organised as I open these up, the ones that come with paints, and we'll just pull them off when we're ready to go. So that's this one. So actually looking pretty cool. I'm looking forward to building that ballista. It's something that's a little bit bigger than the previous items that we've constructed, which are people. And of course, I'm going backwards here, but in the back of it, we do get the stat war scrolls there, and there is a new game set up for using that ballista. And the part that I definitely wanted to see here, which is pretty cool. Ooh, so we're actually going to be going over with a lot of paints in this issue. So we're going to be using base paints, shades, and layer paints, and then adding the Cantor blue. So it's got it all there. So after you construct everything, it tells you about base coating it all with the Retributor armor for these models. Then we're going over the shades for the 3 models we build. Then we're going to be dry brushing with the Stormhost Silver. And then we're going back and getting the Corax White. And we're painting the white onto the faces and parts of robes. And then, so that's this page here. And then we add the Cantor blue to the robes as well to give it that deep dark blue. And we're starting to get some nice contrast, if you could see that there, if it focuses. We're getting a mix of the Retributor armor, the Corax White, and the Cantor blue there with the dry brushed silver. So it's going to start looking more like a legit army here. I'm actually really excited for that. I'm just going to chuck this magazine down here. Going to keep this sprue up the top here and sort it out as we go. So like I said, opening up all 4 issues, clearing some space so I can actually work here. I don't want to show you why I don't have much space here, but essentially behind me I just have boxes stacked, clothes ready to donate, kitchen stuff that's been given to me. It's taking up such a huge space in this room. We'll eventually have more space in the future. Next up, so this is issue 9, and in issue 9, ooh, got 5 bases, so it looks like we have 5 characters here. Gonna have to make sure that I don't lose those. I'm gonna just put them to the side of here. It's just the medium-sized bases or small bases. And we've got this sprue. It comes with a whole lot of the Stormhost soldiers. We also get Cosmos Arcane. Ooh, so this is like a little bit more history into the gods, I believe. Age of Myth. So it just looks like it's telling us a little bit more information about their gods in this, and parts of the land and where characters are traveling and all that, which is pretty cool. But this is the issue here. We get to build these guys here. There's 5 Stormhost dudes there. They are the Sequitors and Castigators, so it's adding to what we've already got. So just building up a squadron, essentially. And it's got some more information about like the different shields and the paints and stuff to match the different shields or different, I guess, battalions, strike forces, I don't know. Got a story about the Valley of Bones here, and then the building of them. Taking care of your brush, which is a good tip to have here. I don't think it's really gone through that before in the magazines. Essentially, we're going to build the models, and then we're going to paint the 5 of them, and it goes through all the way through to the Cantor blue here as well, which we get in the last one. And there's got a close-up there. So it gives you close-up so you can actually paint them, and you can then take this and use it for previous models as well to make sure that you match it well. You've got the Dead Refuse to Die little campaign to play, which is pretty cool. And then the War Scrolls up the back, and then usual, this is coming in the next issue sort of thing. Sorry if this feels a little bit more rushed, but I haven't uploaded a video in not 5 weeks, and clearing space so we can actually build. So, next issue. So this is issue 10, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to put the base over here. You only get one model in this one, and it's just a small Wraith model. It is a Tomb Banshee, which is pretty cool because you get to paint some like hair on this one. And we also get a corn red paint. Let's see how this one's held up in the post. Oh, that one's tightly sealed. Alright. So it's like a really deep scarlet sort of red there. Scarlet, I don't know if scarlet's the correct colour to say there. It's actually really, really nice looking paint. But that's a base paint as well, and that's looking good. I need to sort these out. What am I doing? I just have paints everywhere. Base paints need to be in one row. Shades in one row. And layers and technical paints in another row. So I can actually see what the paints are. Anyway, but you've got the model here, which is looking pretty cool. It's, yeah, just a single Banshee, but this, oh, the front cover's fallen off. You've got this really deep red that we get to paint. So this is why I wanted the binder, because these things start to fall apart. Like, look, all this just fell straight off as soon as I opened it. Anyway, going through here, it's got the building process. This one's using a lot more glue to hold it together, not so much push together. So you base it with the Koroks White. We add the Nihilach, I can never pronounce that one, the Oxide. Then we dry brush it with a Koroks White. Then we add Cantor Blue, and it's saying we're going back and do it with the Chain Rust and the Glaive Wraiths and the Briar Queen. So we're adding the blues to all of it. Then we get to go over with the Corn Red. So it's got the Briar Queen, the Tomb Banshee, and the Miramorn Banshees that we're adding a red to. So in the end, we've got blue. You'll be able to see just slightly here. We'll get a close up when we actually do this. We're going to have this blue for like the robes, I guess. And I think we go over that with a black essentially in the end. That gives it really dark colour. And then we've got a red base for the Banshees here, which I'm pretty sure we'll also be going over with a bit of black down the line to make it dark. And then the Briar Queen has the red and the Tomb Banshee has the red. But the other Briar Wraiths have the blue there. So it's going to look interesting when we get to do all that. Definitely a little bit different. And then got a new campaign mission to play. But I didn't see any War Scrolls for the... Oh, we've got a tiny little bit of information here for the War Scroll. But that one's pretty cool. It's a shame that these fall apart so easily, but it's a good thing I've now got the next, the binder, because I'm going to start sorting these out. So in the video where I do actually go ahead and start painting these, I'm going to have all of this sorted into the binder, into the categories that they belong in. So it won't really be in order anymore. And like when we've done the openings, we've only flicked through them anyway. And I've just talked about what's coming. The main part is we're just going through the building together. So it's a little bit different. Now this is the big one when it comes to the delivery. We get our first piece of landscape to build. So we actually have 2 sprues here, and it's going to be like a little, like looks like a cathedral sort of building, except it's got weird symbols on it. I'm actually really excited about this one, and the camera has completely lost focus. Hello there. But this is going to be cool. So this is going to take quite a while to go through, because we're going to be eventually building, looks like a couple of like mausoleum sort of things there. I'm going to keep that off to the side there. But this is the Sigmarite Mausoleum Part 1. Get Stormhost Part 3 and using terrain in your game. So this is where we actually start to learn about using terrain. So up to 1 through 10 is literally just building armies. Issue 11 we start to look at actually using terrain as part of the game, and we get terrain to do it as well. I love this green colour. It's actually kind of my favourite colour, so there you go, random fact. But on here, we've got chambers and conclave, so it's a bit of information, again, about the storm hosts. It's gone through that a lot with different colour schemes and what they all are, kind of where they come from, what they mean. I don't want to say it's repetitive. I guess I've got to read into it more to see how much is similar between the different groups, but there is a lot of that compared to a lot of the banshees or the wraiths. That's the wraiths. That's one thing I've noticed in here. It seems to favor a lot more of the storm host eternals. I've got a thing about the forces of death here, which is cool. That's actually focusing more on that, which is good. So it's got Flesh Eater Courts, the Night Haunt, and the Oziarch Bone Reapers here, and that's some other tribes that you can get, especially like the Flesh Eater Courts. Now, if you were to sign up to the premium subscription service, which I didn't do, because you actually charge a couple more dollars per issue, which would have been great if you were really wanting to get into the different armies that are on offer, but I figured I'm going to start with these, and if I really enjoy it, I'm going to get into some other ones and start buying them. But you get 4 different army, like essentially massive starter pack sort of things for relatively good value, but it can get expensive when you start adding it all up. Anyway, we're going to be building the mausoleum, which is pretty cool. So we kind of build... this is going to be interesting. Gotta work out. There's no actual base. Parts of the red will come with a later issue. Huh. So I can't actually build this straight away. Literally, it just says parts in red will come with a later issue. The first bit, the base, the base, the base. So I can't even really start building this. That's a little bit disappointing. We've literally got a sprue here, and I'm not going to be able to do anything until a later issue because I need to know how it all sits before I base it, like stick it on the base. Literally, the only parts that I can really prepare are these 2 longer fences. There's 2 of these because they just sit. So I can get them off and paint them and prepare those, which I'm fine going ahead and doing that now. But I can't do the other parts. That's a bit crap. Really? Wow, okay. Yeah. Trying to see if there's like nothing else that I can even really do. You will notice that there are some pieces left on the sprue after you have finished building the model. Keep hold of these as you will be receiving the rest of the Sigmarite Mausoleum in a future issue of Mortal Realms. You will need these extra pieces in order to assemble the rest of the kit. But I guess I could assemble all this and not base it. So I could glue the 4 walls together, put the roof on, and then attach that to the base later on. because none of them are going to have, like, anything that you put inside them. It's all just going to, I guess, I don't know. I kind of want to paint the, because it says, it says here, leaving the tombs off of the bases will make it easier to paint inside the models. I kind of want to paint the walls of the inside first, glue it together, then paint the outside. That's something that we'll come across when we join, when you join me for this episode. And then it does go through about battlefield terrain and how it works, and then set up with a game that uses the terrain as well, which is quite a few pages long. I won't show that on camera at the moment because it will be a little bit confusing in terms of following that along when I'm confused as myself, but we'll come back to that in that issue. And then we've got the preview for issues 12 and 13. So issue 12 comes with the next hero for the Stormcast Eternals, which is the Night Questor, which is cool. So it's a single dude, just kind of like the Banshee that we got here. And we also will be getting a dry brush. I love how they've taught us how to dry brush before they even provide a dry brush. Really, if you're not up to this issue yet, you should have already gone out and purchased a dry brush, because your dry brush will be ruined by the metallics that you're going to be painting, so you don't want to be putting that on your other models that you haven't painted yet at all. But then we also get two base. We get Mechanicus Standard Grey and a Baden Black. So we will get the colours to be able to go over the wraiths and all that with like a darker black colour, like is depicted in the magazine so far. But that is this kind of middle episode between actually doing these and having that whole time where I didn't have videos going up for a while because they took forever to actually arrange it. I was just gonna check. Where is it? I was gonna say I emailed them, which is really frustrating. So I actually I do want to talk about this because it was something that did annoy me. Where's my response from them? And I only say that because it's a lot of money. Like, it's $80 a month Australian to be sitting and waiting for a long time for your items to come. Nope, that's house stuff. So I'm going back a little bit here. Where is it? I don't even know where it is anymore. Let me see. I'm looking for... here. So I sent an email on the 18th of November saying I've not received my order for issues 8, 9, 10, 11. And it was on the 7th of October that they charged me. So if you go 7th of October, and I emailed them on the 18th of November saying, I still haven't got it, and you've charged me. So that's more than 28 days. Then I was charged for issues 12, 13, 14, and 15. I calculated it was 42 days since the payment went out and the time that I sent this email. And since then I've also been charged for issues 16, 17, 18, 19. Then they said that the issues were processed on the 30th of the 10th. So yeah, it took them like 20 days or 20 something days between the payment to send it out, and then almost another 30 odd days before I even got the delivery. So just keep an eye on things, because I feel like if you're not keeping track of it, it might actually go missing if you're getting it, if you're subscribed to it and get it shipped to your house. Just be careful. Just a little bit of a PSA sort of thing. I wish that was my experience, because the first 2 deliveries came out exactly like within the time frames that they state in all the correspondence, and then that happened. I'm hoping it's just a little bit to do with like COVID and that, where things have been really delayed, because I know in Victoria we had border closures, and I'm pretty sure they come from New South Wales. So that's just something to keep an eye on in case you are subscribed to this. Keep track of the money, keep track of the deliveries, make sure you're on top of it, because you don't want to forget about one and then have been charged extra for something that you shouldn't be. But yeah. Other than that, I still am enjoying Mortal Realms. Great reading. Like, I will say that it's great reading, because it kind of introduces you to story and gameplay and mod ability. It's like got a little bit of everything, so it kind of just teases you enough that once you want to keep going. I really do like it, and I'm just hoping that it does a little bit better with their deliveries. Hopefully that was the only complaint I get for the rest of this, now that they've sent a delivery. The rest kind of flow with the same time frames now that we started with. In the next episode, we'll actually dive into issue 9 in a little bit more detail, and it looks like we'll be painting some cool colours onto these dudes. So look forward to building and creating, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you next time.